On the surface, Past Lives is a heartfelt film that tells the story of childhood sweethearts that met in Seoul, Korea, only to reunite in New York after decades of disappearing and reappearing from each other's lives. But when we look deeper, it seems to be a representation of the inextricable relationship between holding on and letting go, and how the choices we make play with the delicate balance between destiny and free will. The concept of inyon is weaved throughout the film and represents the idea of destiny. Nora says it means providence or fate. They say that if two strangers walk by each other in the street and their clothes brush against one another, it's because they must have been something to each other in their past lives. When people get married, it's said that they have 8,000 layers of inyon over 8,000 lifetimes. This concept is recounted throughout the film, but is in constant tension with something Nora's mother said just before deciding to immigrate from Seoul to Canada. If you leave something behind, you gain something too. This tug of war between holding on and letting go is best illustrated by the stark differences we see between the choices and lives of Nora and Hae-sung. Nora is a symbol of how life may unfold when we embrace letting go, and Hae-sung is a representation of what life can look like when we hold on. The first choice that we see Nora make is to change her name from Na-sung to Nora, subtly introducing the idea that the choices we make ultimately change and redefine who we are and how our lives take shape. Throughout different occasions in the film, Nora says, "The girl you knew no longer exists." At a young age, she lets go of her home country, her friends, and her childhood crush. As her character progresses, she eventually leaves her family in Canada to move to New York and pursue her dreams of being a writer. Later on, she even lets go of her dreams of a Nobel Prize, spontaneously and lightheartedly choosing to pursue a Tony instead, all reinforcing this aspect of letting go that is deeply embedded in her character. Even after reaching out to Hae-sung and rekindling their childhood bond, she ultimately makes the choice to let go of their relationship once more. Even though they have an indescribable bond and spark between them, time differences and distance make it difficult to stay connected as their relationship progresses. It becomes more and more evident that they need to sacrifice where they are now to continue to invest in their relationship, reinforcing the words that Nora's mother spoke all those years ago. Knowing that it would be years before they could reunite and visit each other in person, she finally decides that they should stop talking for a while. Although Nora again decides to let go, she says it's just for now, a detail that seems as though Hae-sung never let go of. Over the 24 years in which their story takes place, Hae-sung never forgets about Nora. He holds on to the memories they made as children, the conversations they shared as young adults, and ultimately, the future they could have together. Nora shares that her mother doesn't even call her Na-sung anymore, but Hae-sung does. His tendency to hold on shows itself in other aspects of his life as well. Very different from Nora's path, Hae-sung stays in Korea. He keeps his same old friends, and by his own standards, he lives an ordinary life, and he holds on tightly to his traditional Korean values surrounding his career, his role as an only son, and his view of marriage. When Nora finally meets Hae-sung in New York after 24 years, she says, "I feel so not Korean when I'm with him, and somehow more Korean. He was just this boy in my head, then some guy on a screen, but now he's this real person. I think I just missed him. I think I just missed Seoul." Hae-sung ultimately represents what she had to give up and the life that she left behind in exchange for the life that she has now. And when she's finally face to face with him in the real world, she's forced to confront the tension between her past life and her present reality. That same night, Arthur asks, "What if you had met someone else? What if there was another writer you met at that artist residency who could give you useful notes on your plays and get you your green card?" She responds, "That's not how life works. This is my life and I'm living it with you." Arthur continues, "Is this what you pictured for yourself? Is this what your parents wanted for you?" But she never actually answers the question. She simply responds, "This is where I ended up. This is where I'm supposed to be." This scene is reminiscent of Nora as a child, talking to her friends at school when they ask her why she's deciding to leave Korea. And she says, "Because I want to." But as an audience, we know it was never her choice. It was the choice of her parents. It was a product of her circumstance, and similarly, so was her decision to marry Arthur. In that same conversation, Arthur says, "You know, you only dream in Korean. I get scared. You dream in a language that I can't understand. Like there's this whole place inside of you that I can't go." But neither can Nora. In a way, Hae-sung is the only remaining link to that part of her. The part she left behind with her life in Korea. There's a scene where Nora is casting for her play. It seems like the actor is auditioning for a role that is inspired by her own life. She reads the line, "Some crossings you pay for with your whole life." A line that eerily rings true and mirrors Nora's experience and possibly what she subconsciously feels about her own life. For Hae-sung, even after being worlds apart, separated by distance and time, he never lets go. Not even after meeting her husband, not even after saying goodbye for the last time. In his final conversation with Nora, he asks, "What if this is a past life as well, and we're already something else to each other in our next life? I'll see you then." There is always a tug of war in every decision we make to either hold on or let go. In the words of Nora's mother, when we leave something behind, we gain something too. But some things we gain cost us our whole lives. Is it the choices we make that determine our lives? Or do our circumstances force us to make the decisions we do? I suppose, at least in this lifetime, we must always live in between the spaces of holding on, letting go, and inyon.